Hello, we are the Mussolini's gang. We are going to talk about translation. For this project, we did an interview with a translator. In this case, we choose Art Gomez, who is a translator in the state of Veracruz. He speaks English, Spanish, and understands a little bit of French. He has been working in the language field for over 30 years and has been translating for 50 years. He started working in Laguna Verde as a teacher, and later he worked 3 times in different years at Cristobal Colon University before he decided to start his own business called English Consulting Solutions. Almost every day of his life, he has been dedicated to teaching and translating. In fact, he uses more English than Spanish in his daily life. It was a pleasant talk. We learned different things during this interview, like the advantages.
Well, some of the advantages that we learn is that translation is a very interesting profession. It is a job where you are constantly learning because there is always a new word to learn and understand. You can learn about the slang of many locations. As well as learning new words, you learn new information and interesting facts about different work areas, or you can always learn more about the area you focus on. In terms of speaking, you also learn how to pronounce certain words in the correct form. Being a translator also gives you the option of having a job aside. Even though the translation is well paid, you can always work in something else. Actually, being a language teacher and translator go hand on hand because one complements the other. Your experience as a translator helps you to teach more new things. You know more information and you use it to experience to share examples and knowledge with your students. In another way, another advantage is that you get the opportunity to meet other people that can be dedicated to translating or to other jobs. And by working with them, you might get the opportunity to be considered to work in many other different types of businesses other than just translation or interpreting.
The disadvantages of translation, like any job, translation presents some difficulties. The most common problems are those that have to do with technology, such as loss of internet connection, problem sharing, downloading or exporting some documents. Technical problems are the ones that make the work more difficult than the fact of translating. Working to translate for streaming platforms and subtitling in general is complicated, but interesting. For example, many translations on Netflix contain some mistakes such as jokes, because jokes and humor are different in each language. You also need to know about the culture you are translating. Sometimes you'll have to translate some cultural sentences, like local slangs, and that way the translation will have an impact and the audience can get the feeling. To translate, you need to have trustworthy sources of information. It's not just about going from one language to another. That will be a piece of cake. You have to understand what the language says and express it in the other. For being a good translator, you need to get the main idea of the word and translate it into another language. Also, although it is very common, it is normal to find clients who are a bit complicated. There will always be an occasion when they question your work and ask you the reason for everything. You should always have patience with this type of clients, but also have a limit.
Is it well paid? In fact, translation is quite well paid, but sometimes the income may be variable because you don't usually translate the same amount of pages. How much earned depends a little bit on your reputation and the number of clients you have, as well as how often they come to you. To charge for translations, even if depends on the type of work you do, it's better to charge per page so you avoid conflicts for variations in the price. For example, If you translate from English to your mother language, is cheaper than that other languages because it is easy to understand what the word says. Translating from your mother language to another, you will earn more. Best ways and the best ways to learn translation. There are many ways to learn how to translate, but in general, you have to read a lot. It takes a lot of reading to understand some things.
We have to say also that not everyone does just any kind of translation. Some people focus on specific areas like technology, medicine, engineering, law, etc. Even if someone focuses on only one area, there is likely to be one they don't like to work in.
Not all people do it for passion. However, those who do it contribute a lot in a positive way to this world because they are people who look for improving the reading of different works so that people can understand in their mother language what authors from different parts of the world want to make known.
Places and companies where you can work. There are many options in the area of translation because translating is a very important to keep up with the globalized world and its economy. Some places where you can work are in a hospital. You can work to translating various medical documents for many countries, medical prescription, medical advances, etc. In legal cases, translating can be in legal documents and helping cases such as suits. Also, in a governmental part, you can translate for president and help to make agreement between countries, like USA and Mexico. The people who do the translation needs to know the legal part so they can change all the words. And also, you can in books, magazines, comics, mangas, etc. Everything that have words. At last, but no, but in streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Claro Video, Paramount Plus, YouTube, and Play Store. This is a small video of the person who we interview, and he wants to say hello to you. Like my ex say to me, this is a far as we go together. Thanks.